Hello everyone, welcome back. In today's video, we'll be working on how to connect the router to a local area network. In this activity, there are three parts. Part one is to display router information. Part two, configure router interfaces. Part three, verify the configuration. In this activity, you will use various show commands to display the current state of the router. You will use an addressing table to configure router Ethernet interfaces. Finally, you will use commands to verify and test your configurations. There's a note which says the router in this activity are partially configured. Some of the configurations are not covered in this course, but are provided to assist you in using verification commands. So let's get started. Part one, display router information. Which command displays the statistics for all interfaces configured on a router? So going back to packet tracer, click R1 and click CLI, give a password of a Cisco, enable privilege exit password as a class, and give a command of show interfaces. It will give you all the interfaces on the router. So if you hit more and more, you'll see all the configuration that is done on the router, done on the interfaces of the router. So which command displays the information about the serial 0/0/0 interface only? So if you want to see the specific command, specific interface, you give a command of show interface, serial 0/0/0, and press enter. This will only give you specific interface details about the configurations done on the serial interface. And enter the command to display the statistics for the serial 0/0/0 interface on R1 and answer the following questions. What is the IP address configured on R1? If you see on the CLI tab of R1, the IP address is 209.165.200.225/30. Moving on, what is the bandwidth on the serial 0/0/0 interface? The bandwidth is 1,544 kilobits. As you guys know, which is not the actual bandwidth. Moving on to the next question, enter the command to display the statistics for the Giga Ethernet 0/0 interface and answer the following questions. So now it will be entering Giga Ethernet 0/0 interface. And now we can see all the Giga Ethernet 0/0 interface configurations done on the router. So it is asking what is the IP address on R1. So if you see right here, the IP address is not configured yet, but has to be configured. So there is no IP address on the Giga Ethernet 0/0 yet. And the second question is, it is asking what is the MAC address on the Giga Ethernet 0/0/ interface. Giga, the MAC address is 0 right here. And what is the bandwidth? Bandwidth is right here. 1 million kilobits. Moving on to step 2, display a summary list of the interfaces on R1. Which command displays a brief summary of the current interfaces, status, and IP address assigned to them? So if you want to see a brief summary of the interfaces, just give a command of show IP interface brief. It will give you a brief summary of the current interfaces. So it is asking how many serial interfaces are there on R1 and R2. Let's see R1 first, and I will show you R2 after this. So on R1, there are 2 serial interfaces and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Ethernet interfaces. And it is asking if all the Ethernet interfaces are the same. If no, explain. So these are the fast Ethernet. There are 4 fast Ethernet and 2 gigabit Ethernet. Gigabit Ethernet are much faster than fast Ethernet. So that's the only difference in this interfaces, Ethernet interfaces. So serial interfaces are totally different. So moving on to R2. Click CLI, Cisco, enable class, show IP interface brief. So there are 2 serial ports, serial interfaces, and there's 2 Giga Ethernet interfaces. With this, we are moving to step 3, display the routing table on R1. Well, what command display the content of the routing table? So going back to R1, the command show IP route will show you the content of the routing table. So how many connected routes are there? Use the C code, which code is listed. So the code is where you see, which means connected. And there's only one in the C code listed on this table. How does a router handle a packet distance for a network that is not listed in the routing table? So a router only sends packet to a network listed in the routing table. If network is not listed, the packet will be dropped. Moving on to part 2, configure router interfaces. So first we'll start configuring Giga Ethernet 0/0/ interface on R1. And we will be giving a description also, and we will be pinging after it. So let's get started. Go to config T, interface, Giga Ethernet 0/0, and give this an IP address of 192.168.10.1 and the subnet mask of 255.255.255.0. Press enter and give a command on no shutdown. Perfect. Now we'll be giving this a description. LAN connection to S1, because if you see right here, the R1, this interface is connected to S1. So if you make a description, it will be easier for us to see it in the router. Now end this. Try to ping 192.168.10.10. So if you see a success rate of 80%, that means it is good. The first time it will give you 80%, and if you try to do it again, it will start giving you 100% of the success rate. So with this, we are moving to step 2, configure the remaining Giga Ethernet interfaces on R1 and R2. So config T, interface Giga Ethernet 0/1, and the IP address of 192.168.10.192.168.11.1 and the subnet mask of 255.255.255.0, and give a command on no shutdown. and give this a description LAN connection of S2, because this one is the connecting to S2. That's why we're giving this a description of LAN connection to S2. So with this, we are moving to R2. Oh, first we will save this to NVRAM. Click in, copy running config to startup config. Yes, and done. Moving on to R2. Config T, interface Giga Ethernet 0/0. Give this an IP address of 10.1.1.1 and a subnet mask of 255.255.255.0. No shutdown. And give this a description of LAN connection to, we'll see right now. The one is right here, so S3. And config T, interface Giga and 0/1, IP address of 10.1.2.1, and subnet mask of 255.255.255.0. No shutdown. And give this a description of LAN connection to S4. And now the last step is copy running config, which is right now we just did the configuration to startup config. So whenever we start up the router, it will be saved on it. Exit, close. So with this, we are at the completion rate of 54/54. So we have fully completed the activity, not fully, but the completion rate of 54 out of 54. So if you guys want to do the basic testing of end-to-end connectivity across the network, you could do it, absolutely. But right now with this, I'll be ending my video. And in this video, we have seen how to connect a router to a local area network. If you have any questions, any suggestions, please feel free to comment below. And stay tuned, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.